Good evening, everybody. Georgina here from Amman, Jordan, presenting for GEGMN. This is Tip Tuesday number 5. Please shout out in the chat on the right-hand side who you are and where you're joining us from this evening. And we'll give it another minute or two to let everybody else join us as well. Okay, so today's session is a little bit more than the usual Tip Tuesday, where we're just sharing tips and tricks for Google Classroom. There's a massive response from Google for Education with strategies, resources, tips and tricks from educators globally around the world to support educators and schools globally. So we wanted to make sure that we took the opportunity to share resources with everybody today, as well as take a look at one of the tools that seem to be really popular right now, which is Hangouts Meet, and some tips and tricks for how we can use that safely and successfully with our students in the classroom, or the virtual classroom, I should say, since we're all home. So the first thing I'm going to do is drop the view access to this Google Slide doc in the chat for you. Here we go. And that way you can not only follow along, but you can also have access to the resources and links that are available inside the Google Slide. So please go ahead and you can click on the bit.ly link to open view access to the Google Slide. So we're just going to go through briefly one by one, and then we will have a run through of the tool Hangouts Meet together. All right, so the first thing is reviewing distance learning resources from Google EDU. So the first one is Teach from Home. So if you click on it, it opens up the link and it will take you to this window. So I really got to say, this is something amazing that was put together from Google for Education. It's called Teach from Home, and it's basically just a hub of information full of resources, tutorials, different things that can help educators with their distance learning. So if you scroll down, you'll see there a lovely keynote introduction from Dean Stokes, who is the Google for Education lead for the MEA region. So that includes GEGMN. So it's nice for you guys to have a chance to see him and hear from him. So I would recommend everybody take a look at that video. And then there are different tools here. So teaching from home is going to require a different approach. So it's how can we use the tools that G Suite for Education already provide us in a creative and innovative way. So it's not always about here's something new, here's something new. It's about using what we have and innovating it to better support, better engage, and better inspire our learners as well as our educators. So here's a good place to do that. Also, how to teach remotely without video calls. So if your school has decided not to go down the road of video conferencing, what are some other interactive ways that you can engage with learners? And there are some examples there. As I know, most people on the call today are using Google Classroom to communicate and engage with students. Yay, we have some visitors. So Dina, hi, welcome Dina. Dina is joining us from Cairo, Egypt. Super exciting. And Tamina is on the call with us. Tamina is joining us from Amman, from the school that I work out. Hi, Tamina. And Ahmed is here with us. He is a Google trainer with GEGMN also. So good evening, Ahmed. And the link for, sorry, thank you, Ahmed. So Ahmed says the link that I shared is not working. Do you mean the link for the Google Slides? It seems that there are two viewers inside the Google Slides, so it seems to be working. I've got an anonymous Wolverine, a dinosaur, and a chinchilla. I love that. I love those things. So hopefully, Ahmed, let me know if that's working for you now. And wonderful. So we'll keep going. Okay. So the Teach from Home Hub is really, really awesome. So we'll just scroll down quickly. There's also lessons accessible. How do we use that? This one here, learn about accessibility features in G Suite, is really important. There have been a lot of emails on the thread, a lot of tweets, a lot of everything asking, I have a student who's on an IEP, I have a student with this disability, and how can we support them? So if you go through these tutorials, they will help you, give you some tips and tricks. The main thing that I want to let you know is that the enclosed captions is probably your biggest tip for video conferencing. So you can do that with YouTube. You can turn on your captions. You can do it with Meets as well. We'll look at that in a second. And you can do it with app videos as well from Apple. I just downloaded one yesterday. Called Apple Clip, and it has enclosed captions as well. So this is going to be really helpful for those students. Type with your voice is also really awesome. I tried using it myself. I'm not sure that Google can keep up with me. I'm just joking because I talk really fast, but it's a really great feature. So if you're tired or your typing skills aren't where they need to be, or if you are a young learner in the classroom and your typing skills are not yet advanced where they need to be or developed, then you can use the Google Type and that will help a lot. Keeping students engaged. So this is a really great one. If you didn't join any of our previous Tuesdays, then Jamboard is an awesome virtual whiteboard. You can watch any of our previous Tip Tuesdays to see that in action or check out the tutorial there. And keeping in touch with teachers, virtual coffee breaks together. I love that. I absolutely love virtual coffee breaks. So if you are used to like Skyping or Zooming, I know there's lots of different video conference tools out there, but take the time to have like a 5 or 10 minute break with your colleagues just to say like, how's it going with your school or with your family? It's so important to keep in touch. Okay, so that's the Teach from Home Hub. Any questions about that? Okay. And then the second one is explore distance learning resources. So this is also from Google for Education, specifically in response to schools that are affected by COVID-19. So since we are GEGMN, we know that the schools have been closed since last week. So this is 1.5 weeks into distance learning for people in Amman. And I know Dina was letting me know earlier that the schools are closing in Egypt as well. So this is going to be a really awesome tool for everybody who's learning from home. So here we have blog posts, Hangouts Meet, distance learning strategies, how to prepare students to learn at home from Chromebooks. And these are all different trainings and strategies to help you. You can also click on load more resources. And it's basically all of your product tools to help you your first day using Google Drive, Slides, etc. So this is a great place to start as well. Let's go back to the slide. And the last one is distance learning strategies for EDU leaders. So this is really amazing. If you are a Google trainer, a Google leader, an ed tech coach, or a technology instructional coach in your school, or just somebody who's really excited about technology and would like to support leadership of your school in rolling out G Suite for Education as a base for distance learning, please share this PDF with those people. Please share this PDF with any leaders of your school. It basically has all of the information that they need in order to roll out distance learning pedagogies across the school, including tools, plans, communicating with families. Everything you need is basically in here. So definitely take the PDF. Tamina, you're in good hands. I shared that with our school, so no need to worry there. And for the rest of you, please do download the PDF and share that with the leaders of your school. Ahmed, I know you'll be able to pass that to a lot of schools. I know you're working with like Saudi and Kuwait, so please send that off to help them get started as well. Any questions about those resources, guys? Okay, yay. So let me know how you guys are doing. How is your first week or your first days of distance learning? Let me know in the chat. I'm excited to know how everybody's doing with that. Okay, I'm going to jump down to point number 3, which is supporting the community. And I'm going to leave the Hangouts Meet for the very end of the call, just in case we run out of time. So with point number 3, the first thing to remember is the teacher center. So for any staff who are absolutely brand new to Google Classroom, because maybe they didn't have time to prepare before the school closed and they're just going to be opening up Google Classroom for the first time, this is the teacher center for training for all Google products. So this first box here, getting started with Google for Education, is like that 8-week, 15-minute PD every Tuesday. Really nice little starter. If you want to go a little further, then you can do like first day of Google Slides, which is here. And these links, particularly in the middle here, those are what's linked in the second link that I showed you earlier as well. What's really nice is that if people would like to learn about device training, so how can we use Chromebooks and Androids, there's specific device training here. And if people want to learn about coding with CS First, they can join that link there and teach applied digital skills. So I know this has been really successful for integrating ed tech skills for students and building that through other curriculum strands. Digital citizenship and safety is a nice one as well. I had even my digital leader students at school K-12 take that as well when they started. So it's a really nice reminder about how to be safe online. And if you're interested in becoming L1 or L2 Google trained, like all of you on the call are, then this is the section where you can take fundamentals training on the left or advanced training on the right for level 2. If you would like to become a certified trainer like myself and Ahmed, then you can definitely also take this certified trainer course and go through that as well. And guys, we're in distance learning and the world needs more of us. So please, please, please consider it. There's time at home and there's no greater tools than Google. Let me tell you, the amount of app smashing and ways that you can integrate it across the curriculum is just phenomenal. So have a think about it. Okay, any other questions? There's a lot of chat. I love that. Okay. Yes, Tamina says Google has been awesome. I agree. Google had been nothing short of phenomenal with their response to this whole situation. Dina says that it will help little learners. Yes, I totally agree, especially Jamboard. Brilliant. And what else? Yes, very good to trial these things and then feedback. So I love that idea, Tamina. It's really important that we keep our professional learning network growing. So you guys connect with each other in the chat, keep that conversation going, share with your other colleagues in your schools, get them involved. I think, there's that whole thing, sharing is caring, right? And I think the more that we share, not only are we caring about the PD and support of our colleagues, but it also shows that we're caring about learners, on a bigger scale, across the team, across the phase, across the school, and globally. So it's a really great way to ensure that we're taking care of a larger number of learners. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so these next links are my little tip for today for people to take a look into. Tamina, you may have seen these already because I did a staff webinar this past weekend as well, and I shared these. These are the hyperdocs to help you with your digital workflow. So this first link is literally a step-by-step guide on how to create a Google Doc. Just for the record, these are not made by me. These resources are not mine. I only put together the Google Slide resource. So I'm sharing what other trainers and innovators have done to help people globally. So you can do video demos and it teaches you how to create hyperdocs. So what is a hyperdoc? It's basically taking a Google Doc or a Google Slide and making it a blended learning experience that's interactive for your students. So if you want to see what it looks like after you've read through and learned how to make it, you can then click on this other one. These are 3 Google trainers and or innovators that got together. There they are, the Hyperdoc girls, and created this website. And that's basically their passion and their forte is that they work on hyperdocs. So you have a whole lot of resources here to work through, blogs, webinars, etc. So you can check out that website. And specifically, the third link under there will take you to the template section of their website. And here you have templates where you can create a copy and you can link in your own curriculum or your own lesson. So it's brilliant, you know, exploring, doing, explaining, applying, reflecting, extending, it's all there. So all you have to do is modify it so that your lesson objectives and resources are all in there. But it's a great way for students to be able to learn at their own pace at the same time as collaborating, exploring, reflecting, and extending their learning. So hyperdocs are really awesome. If you haven't had a go with hyperdocs, we really strongly encourage that. It's an amazing way to empower engagement, inspire creativity and creative problem solving in your lessons digitally through Google Classroom or through any learning management system, really. But obviously, if you're working with Google Docs, then that will be best used through Google Classroom. Okay, any questions about any of that? Okay. Okay, everyone's talking about the level 1 Google Educator certification. So that's awesome, really awesome. Yeah, Tamina just took hers. So if you guys have questions, she is definitely the lady to speak to. Okay, so I've dropped some resources for you guys on this Google slide to help you work through different places that you can get resources, tutorials, and strategies to help you deliver online learning, distance learning, remote learning, whichever acronym you're using in your area or district, to support that engaging lesson with your students. Okay, so now let's move on to Hangouts Meet, unless there's any questions. Okay. Hangouts Meet. This is video conferencing, but we need to understand that there are two types of video, right? Video conferencing means that there are two or more people that receive your signal, your audio, your verbal on the other end of each, right? So this is Hangouts Meet. We'll take a look in a second. And the other kind is exactly what you are experiencing today. It's where myself, Georgina, is giving you video and oral content. I'm also sharing my screen with you, but you cannot share your screen back with me. I'm not able to hear you and I'm not able to see you. And so this is just called a live stream. Now with YouTube, since I am streaming through YouTube, YouTube does have a chat box down the side. So with Hangouts Meet live stream, we have the ability to stream out the same way that you're seeing me do now, and students will only be able to see and hear you. So I know Tamina has been trialing that with my school before we possibly roll that out. And so she can also support in the chat with that. But it basically means that for child safeguarding and all this other stuff that's obviously high priority for online safety for schools, is that we don't have to worry about what are the students showing us, what are the students revealing, etc. And because the calls can be recorded, so you can then post your session into Google Classroom along with your post after. Okay, so just so we know that there are two types. Are there any questions about that? Yes, Dina, hyperdocs are super cool, so I hope you have fun with that. If you have any awesome examples, please let's keep that sharing going across countries, will be awesome. Okay, so with Hangouts Meet, let's take a look at number 2 together now. With Hangouts Meet, the first thing is to make sure that we get trained properly and we have the help we need. So if you click on 2A, it takes you here to the Google Learning Center, G Suite Learning Center. So it's got all of your quick start guides, you can watch videos, and it's got all of these headings at the top to help you troubleshoot, have resources, etc. So you can scroll through and literally get all the help you want. How do we join a meeting? How do we collaborate? How do we get started? How do we manage it? How do we troubleshoot it? Google is officially awesome, guys. Everything you need to know about their services is located here in the support center. So I absolutely love Google in case it didn't show, right? And then if you want easy navigation also, if you just look to the right-hand side, learn by product, you can also have quick access to Google's other products like Drive, Docs, Forms, etc. So really cool. Okay, so that's the training because obviously, guys, to be realistic, right? 30 minutes is not enough to get through a full training. Tamina can tell you it took us an hour and 15 minutes in a group of 4. So to make sure you get it done right, and the calendar settings can be tricky, which is what we will look at in a second, it's important to do it step by step. Okay, and the second link is the teacher guide to Hangouts Meet. So when you click on that link, it takes you here and it welcomes you to your first day of Hangouts Meet. It gives you the basic, and these are all video tutorials and some PDFs that you can download and go through. So make sure that if your school is just starting with Hangouts Meet, that you definitely go through all of this content, read everything from Google support, watch all the videos, because it's such an important part of learning, right? You're basically sharing yourself as a teacher, which we're normally used to being inside a classroom with 4 walls and it's just you and the kids, and sometimes another teacher or a member of leadership come in to support or observe the lesson. But now what's happening is it's you on the line out there, and students can see it, and your link's going to stay in Google Classroom, and now they can open it at home with their parents. So it's a much larger scale, right? So it's definitely something you want to make sure you've got exactly right. Okay, any questions so far? Thank you, Dina. Dina says Google Dean. Yes, I am definitely a big Googler. Okay, so moving right along. Hangouts Meet Cheat Sheet is 2.C, and this will really help you guys. You can download it as a PDF and you can keep it with you or pin it to your board if you have a little mini office that you're going to be using from home. And it basically is a cheat sheet to tell you how to set up a video conferencing. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. You can just scroll through and go at your own pace, but it's nice because it's got pictures and diagrams. Some people learn with web tutorials and others learn with picture and arrows. So it's nice that Google gives you all of those options. The last one before we show an example together is 2.D, which is create a live stream through Google Calendar. In order to do a Google Hangouts Meet with your classroom, like through your Google Classroom, you need to set it up in Google Calendar to get the links that you need in order to share them inside of a Google Classroom. It's really, really important. So I've given you here the link to take you directly to the Google support file where you need to be able to set that up, okay? And in the event options, you can create an all-day event, you can create a repeating one, or you can do a live streaming. So for example, in the trial that we're doing at my school right now, we're just trialing live stream with chats through a Google Doc or a Google Slide or the Google Classroom post itself in order to answer students' questions live. Okay, so let's take a look at an example together before the half hour ends. Is there any questions? Yes, Tamina says it feels a tad weird because she can't hear her students. That's correct. Oh, Dina, can you not hear me? I'm not sure which part. Okay, I guess it's the calendar part, right? Okay, so basically, and we're gonna do an example now together. Basically, when you create a Google Hangouts Meet with your students, you're going to create it in the Google Calendar app first to get the link in order to put that link into your Google Classroom for your students. So I'm going to show you how to do that now, okay? And then after I show you, if you have questions or anything, obviously you can replay the video, but definitely don't do this with your students, guys, until you have read the information. And I would also strongly recommend practicing a run through with your team. So like Dina, you could do this with your year 3 team and have each one practice setting up a meet where the others are students, so you can all experience it from each angle, yeah? Okay, cool. So let's take a look now together. So first of all, I'm going to open up my Google Classroom, and I'm also going to open up my Google Calendar so that I have both set. So now inside my Google Calendar, we'll just use this GEGMN one. Actually, yeah, that's fine. And then I'm going to go to classwork and I'm going to set up my assignment for tomorrow. So let's just say we have our title planned. So it's going to be science. I don't know why I always have science on the brain. So we'll start with the date, 25th March is tomorrow. and science and plant growth. I think it's because I keep using the same topic when I do my training, so it's just on the go. And it depends on you if you want to use graded or not. It just make sure that you're following the consistency of your school. So like for example, at my school, we don't show grades through Google Classroom so that it's less stressful for students and more inspiring for them. But again, if your school is showing grades, that's okay. And then due date, we're not leaving a due date right now in distance learning. So that's also a tip for other people watching. We found that due dates have been a little bit stressful for students and parents, especially those families that are sharing devices. Also, if the internet has been difficult at home because obviously the load is heavier with everybody on it at the same time, then that's been difficult as well. So not having a due date and just letting students know that your assignments can be handed in within a couple days or by the end of the week really takes that anxiety away and gives them that freedom and flexibility. Okay, then we're going to add it to a topic. I don't have science there, so I'm just going to create my science topic. And now I need to go and get my Google Hangouts Meet link. And I'm going to click the add button on the left-hand side, and I'm going to click link to add it. So now we're going to go to the Google Calendar. On the Google Calendar, I can click anywhere on my calendar, and right away I want to start in more options because I have the full view of what I need to see. So I'm going to add a title, and what I recommend is a good practice is to take the title of your assignment into your calendar event. So just post the Google Classroom assignment title, and that helps you keep things consistent and easy to find, yeah? So I'm going to put it there, and maybe even in brackets, I'm going to put the class title. So let's say year 8, Creative Media 3, for example. That's one of the classes that I teach. And I'm going to put the start of the lesson time. So for example, tomorrow that's going to be 1:15, and it's going to go till 2:15. Okay, any questions so far? We're good? The normal way of setting up a calendar event, yeah? And then this is the part where it's new for Google Hangouts Meet. So on the left-hand side, you need to add conferencing. If you do not see add conferencing, it means that the Google administrator for your school has not turned on Google Hangouts and Google Meet inside the console. So if you are a teacher and you do not see this section here in your assignment post, you need to contact them and ask them to turn it on. Once they've turned it on, then you'll be able to see this option. So click Hangouts Meet, and then you'll see a Join Hangouts Meet underneath. Click on the arrow to the right to pull down the full menu. If you're going to join a Google Hangouts Meet where all of you can see each other and can chat together, then you only need this link here, which is the Google Join Hangouts Meet. If you would like to create an ongoing link to use the same link or create a nickname, you can click the edit button here, and you can change this 10-letter code to an existing code. So I'm going to leave it as is for now, but this has been really helpful. Like when I do my training with my IT team and I'm training the IT team on Google, I have the nickname IT team meeting. So if you're like a year 6 teacher, you could call it year 6. Or if, for whatever your class is, you can call it that. So that's one way you could do it. And so if you want to add just that code, then I am going to click on the arrow and I'm going to click save. And now I'll just click ask me later. Okay, and now there I have my code. If I click on it once, I am going to be able to hover over the join meet. Google's awesome. See, it always gives me those pops to teach me if it's the first time using it in my trainer domain. So when I hover over join Hangouts Meet, you'll see that there's a copy button to the next of it. So I'm going to copy it, click it, and it says that it's copied to clipboard. And now in my Google Classroom, I can click add link, and I can Command V or Control C and add the link to my Google Classroom assignment. Now, when the classroom assignment is ready and it's posted, students can click on that link to join. I would strongly recommend posting the assignment for when you're going to be ready in the meeting live, because otherwise you want everybody in there together at the same time. So you would click on the arrow at the top right and schedule it for the start of your lesson. So if your lesson is starting at 1:15 the next day, so then we would pick 25th and we said it was 1:15, right? So 1:15 p.m. Okay. This is if you want to schedule a Hangouts Meet where everybody is on the call together. If I want to create a live stream, if your school has decided that live stream is safer, or for whatever reason, that's what they want to do, then here is how we create a live stream. So I'm going to go and edit this Google Classroom assignment. I'm going to cancel the schedule and I'm going to remove the Hangouts Meet. Now I'm going to go back to my calendar and I'm going to create another one just to show you a different example. So here we can go and create the same title and back to Google Calendar and type that in. And I'm going to click more options. It's always good to start in more options. Now I'm going to create the time. Let's say it's 2:20 p.m. or 12:20 p.m. to 1:20 p.m. Add conferencing on the left again, Hangouts Meet. Click on the down arrow for Join Hangouts Meet. And now what I'm going to do is I don't see that live stream is added. That means that my administrator has not turned on live stream. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to turn that on to be able to show you guys because it's really important for this step. So I'm just going to click, I'm going to do this. I am going to do that. And I'm going to go to my admin console and I'm going to just pop it out in a new window and I'm going to turn that on. So while I'm just preparing that, it's really important that you guys see that. That is exactly the thing, that if your IT, hi guys, I'm really sorry about that. I opened a new window and it crashed my OBS. That happened last time as well. Sorry, everybody. So can you hear me now? Are we back in business? Hopefully. Just comment in the chat if you can see and hear me again now, please. Okay, perfect. Sorry, guys. Tamina's laughing because she knows that happened to me last time as well. My poor laptop, guys. Can you imagine? It has been going through so much the last weeks trying to do all of these video tutorials, these live streams, etc., etc. So my poor little laptop, I hope it doesn't die during the closure. Otherwise, I'm really going to be stuck. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I am turning on the live stream so that you guys can see how it works. So in my console behind the scenes that you guys can't see, I've gone ahead into my OU. So Ahmed, this is important for you. You need to make sure that the OUs, the organizational units, have the stream and the video calling turned on so that teachers can have that access inside their calendar. All right, so now I've turned it on and I'm going to cancel out of there and I'm going to just refresh my Google Calendar to make sure the settings take effect. I haven't really been nice because Google always tells Google admins that it takes 24 hours for the changes to take effect. So it might not have happened already. Let's just see. I'm going to use the current one to go in and I'm going to click edit and I'm going to click on my down arrow. Yeah, it's not taken effect yet, so it probably won't be ready. But basically, and I'll try and add a picture to the Google Slides at the end of the call. But basically in this window, when you click on the down arrow, you would see add live stream and you would click add live stream and then the live stream would have its own link. After you turn live stream on, you click save and you need to go back in to make it view only for the students. So when you click on it again, you're going to hit edit again. And then up here in more actions in the top right hand side, there will be a button that says create view only event. And you need to click on that in order for the live stream link to be view only. So that is how you create the difference between Hangouts and a Hangouts live event. And then you would just take the link, as I already showed you guys, and you would post it here in the classroom assignment and schedule the assignment to start at the start of your lesson. The thing with the Hangouts Meet or the Hangouts Live, I recommend always to have a split screen. So open two different windows altogether and have your Hangouts Meet in one window and have your Google Classroom in a window that's side by side. So that if you choose to attach a collaborative Google Doc to it where all the students can chat together during your call, then you can see that document as the students are writing, just like I can see the YouTube chat for you guys now and interact with you while they're only seeing the video feed. So it's one way to do it. It really needs, like I said, a full training session, but I just wanted to give you guys those two tips between the two. I know from like the trainer thread, as Ahmed probably sees too, that there's a lot of people just using Hangouts Meet. Some are starting to use more the live stream, but in my recommendation, it's really a good place to start with the live stream until people get familiar and comfortable, especially if your teachers are new to technology and they need time to adapt, you know. And as education leaders, school leadership, all of this, we need to be patient with teachers and give them time to adapt. So if you're just starting out with Google Classroom, I would say give your school at least 2 weeks practice just with asynchronous learning, which means you're posting on the Google Classroom and students can interact and do it that way. And then after a week or two of that, then you can start to introduce video conferencing, which is synchronous learning, where everybody's learning in the same space together, but do it step by step. Maybe encourage like one person from each team to do training with the ed tech coach first. And then they can support their teams as well after it's rolled out to the school. I also recommend on the Google Classroom stream, when you are about to do a live stream or a Hangouts Meet, that you go into the settings wheel and turn it to students can comment only, so that you don't have multiple places where the students are commenting or that are posting down the stream. So you want to keep that chat that's happening simultaneously to your Hangouts in a separate place. Um, my other tip also would be to make sure that after the chat is finished, that you turn your Google Doc chat or Google Slide or Jamboard chat to view access only, so that students are not collaborating in that space after. That space is just your chat space. And my other tip for everybody would be, as school educators, to make sure that every video conferencing or live stream that happens, that every teacher records the session. When the session is recorded, it automatically saves to a Google Drive folder called Meeting Recordings. And you can rename the title of the video recording again to match the title of your Google Classroom assignment. And then you can go to edit the assignment and you can link in the video recording directly from Google Drive, so that students, if they missed your live stream or the Hangouts Meet, they can then watch it after, for those who were sharing devices or with poor internet. Um, Okay, so we went a little bit over time today because we had a lot of things to share, and we didn't actually train an example of Hangouts Meet together, but I wanted to be very clear on the difference between Livestream and Hangouts Meet. For those of you who are visual learners like myself, you will actually need to practice that first before you do it to understand the difference. So my recommendation again is please do that in your team of teachers first. Practice, trial it before you even start using it with students. It will help teachers to build confidence. Practice in front of the camera, because sometimes it can be nervous if you're they can be nervous if they are recording live for the first time. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration. Okay, I'm going to look over to the chat to see if there are questions. Okay, so Dina is asking, how do we set up a split screen? Okay, so let me add, I will show you now. Let me add, Tamina, I'm using OBS, so you'll be very impressed with the next steps. I am going to add another window capture, and I'm going to add file, new window. Okay, so I'm going to add the second capture will be stand by. Is it this one? Yes. Okay, and then I'm going to try to show you guys, but I need to make the screens a little bit smaller. So just stand by together so that you can see. Can you guys see two screens now in the window? I'm playing with my streaming software on a live call. How is that for risk taking? So you should be able to see two windows. Let me know if you can. It doesn't look pretty yet, but basically you can see the idea that I am using two separate windows. And what I'm going to do is I am going to put the windows side by side so that here, when I open up a Google Hangouts Meet, I have the video starting here on the right. I'm going to allow my camera and my speaker, and I'm going to join the session. And I can add people or copy the joining info directly into the Google Classroom again. So now I have my Hangouts Meet on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, I just have a separate window. And do you guys see how I'm moving the windows over side by side? So then here I can click on my Google Apps and I can click on Classroom. Hold on, because I need to be in a core app first. Google Classroom. And now I have my Google Classroom on the right. So that means that if I have a Google Doc going from the Google Classroom that's embedded also in the Google Classroom assignment, I can have that going on the left-hand side. I can do, for example, insert 3 tables. I'm going to keep going. I know we're a bit over, but if you guys are happy with that, I'll just keep going. I'll minimize the view a little bit. Let's say 50% and change it to landscape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, like, here will be the name, and then we have the chat, and then we have questions. Now here will be edit access for students automatically, because when you take this link into Google Classroom, okay, when we go to advanced and we take that link and then we can click done, we can put that in Google Classroom, edit the assignment. We can add the link for the Google Doc, and it will tell us, how do you want students to interact with the Google Doc, right guys? So here, you're going to be able to say if this is going to be view only or collaborate, but because this is a past example, that's not going to work. One second. Ah, there we go. There's our new one. So edit, and then add, link, Google Doc, and see it says students can view file. What you want them to do is students can edit the file. And then we also have the Hangouts Meet code, so we'll put that down there as well. When we click assign, what's going to happen is when you open that doc, then everybody who's part of that Google Classroom will have edit access. So during the live stream or during the Google Hangout Meet, your students will be able to collaborate here in this Google Doc, okay? And then after the live stream is finished, as I was saying before, you're going to go to share settings and you're going to go to advanced and you're going to turn the students for this Google Classroom. So that's the teachers. I'm going to turn it to view access only. That means that the Google Doc represents just the live chat of the student. So when the chat is finished, they're not able to edit it. Yes, all the changes are saved in Drive in the Google Doc, so you're protected that way, but it's a nice best practice to use, a good tip, so that then you just have a chat record and you're going to upload your Google Meet. So here inside the Google Meet, as I was saying before, if you click on the 3 dots, this is where you're going to be able to record your meeting. But again, because the settings didn't take effect in my console, guys, it's not showing. When you can see a record button here, then you know that you have the meets turned on and it's upgraded for your domain. So Dina, for example, you're going to want to check with your school and make sure that they have turned on the Meets feature inside their admin console, and that when the upgrade for the free enterprise features, which includes recording and streaming, come through, you as a teacher will see stream and start recording. So you should record before you open it up to the students, and then you will see the stream option at the top. So sorry to Tamina, because she already had this training for me this week and she's done a great job with it. But does seeing that help everybody a little better? Let's just check the chat. Oh, Dina, yeah, no trick on this one. This is all just like creative working out with your windows. So yeah, that's about it there. And we'll go to Google Classroom. Okay, so Dina and Tamina say that that's great. And I'm not sure if Ahmed left or he's still with us, but hopefully that makes sense as well. Like I said, Google Hangouts Meet, I'm going to close this window now. Google Hangouts Meet really is, guys, something, let's see if I can make this bigger now to fill the screen. And we're going to turn off the Hangouts Meet and go back to our mini PD session. Okay. So hopefully that's going to fill my YouTube screen again. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so I'll just hang out for another couple of minutes to see if there's any other questions. I know we went over, but I'm hoping that that was really helpful for people. Ahmed's here. Yay, great. So hopefully that helped. Ahmed, you're already a superstar, as all three of you are. So I'm sure that's absolutely fine for you guys. If anybody would like me to do any extra training for their schools, for their communities, like I am happy to help out. And Google trainers and innovators globally, if you're watching the threads, if you're on Facebook, everybody is willing to help out and offer their support. So if you just go on like any social media thread, you'll find posts from any Googler offering to give you guys help. So if your school or if you know of a school in your area that needs any help, please just reach out to any of us, post on the GEGMN Facebook, send us an email. Also in this section, if you click on GEGMN, you have the registration form. So if you'd like to share that form out with any of your community members, you can. And if you click on the Google Classroom link, it brings you to this Google slide share as well. So I hope that's been really helpful. Are there any last questions before I go? So somebody's joining us. Ahmed, maybe you can help me translate. I don't know who that is that's joining, but welcome. It's in Arabic. Can I tell you what program users use to make the video? Do you mean this YouTube video recording? Or do you mean the Google Meets that I just showed you? You're welcome, Dina. My pleasure. Thanks for joining. I hope that helps you. And if your school does start to use it, at least you'll have an idea of how to get started now. Okay, so if you're asking about the program software that I'm using to record into YouTube, I'm using a program called OBS. It's a free download. So if you go onto Google, you'll be able to get it. And it will allow you to add multiple screens so that you can show demos like this. And you can use the encoder to stream into YouTube, which is I'm doing for GEGMN. So Tamina is super awesome and she's giving that a go. I know she's trying to download that on her work laptop now to try it. And okay, great. So Ahmed says a computing company in Jordan language organization. Okay, great. So hopefully that answers your question. And if not, please do reach out. Ahmed, maybe you can drop your company's website down to help them. Ahmed is a Google partner for his company and he does migrations and training as well. So Ahmed Goanma, sorry if I don't say that right, is definitely the person to speak to for the company that's joined and watched our session today. So I am going to have to go. I apologize. It's almost an hour, but I am due on another support call. So I'm going to leave you guys for the evening. Um, Yay, Tamina says she uses OBS for home videos. That is awesome. That's so great. Tamina, that's awesome. That's what the world needs. Just people who are risk taking, who want to give it a go, make learning experiences enjoyable and inspiring for students and for their colleagues. I'm so proud of you. And actually, all the people that are on the call tonight, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for everything that you are doing to make education awesome during this very stressful and chaotic time for families around the world. So we appreciate you. I appreciate your help. And I'm sure Google appreciates you guys too. So thank you for everything. And on that note, I will say farewell and good evening and see you guys next Tuesday. Remember, we're live every Tuesday with tips and tricks. And we also have our monthly webinar coming up next Tuesday as well. Actually, so it's just the monthly webinar, sorry, next week, and then Tip Tuesday, because the last day of the month this month is on Tuesday anyway. All right, great. Stay safe, guys. Stay healthy and see you next time. Bye.